This is part 2 of the series for the black and silver upcycle. In the first video, we made a necklace and earrings. And in this video, video number 2, we're going to make a bracelet and earrings. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Vicki, and this upcycle, this black and silver upcycle, we started out with 2 necklaces that I thrifted at our restore. One of them was a gunmetal finish, and the other one was more of an antique silver. In the first video, we took the necklaces apart, and we made a new necklace and a pair of earrings. In this video, part 2 of the 3-part series, we're going to make a bracelet and earrings. And I have a playlist set up called Black and Silver. So if you missed the first video, just look for the playlist at the end of this video and you can go back and watch video number 1. But with all that said, let's get started. Out of one of the necklaces I took apart, this is all I have left. I guess I do have a few stragglers over here, a few beads. And then of course I have these beads. Yeah, haven't gotten into these because we need to string these beads. I'll zoom out a little bit. I haven't gotten into these beads because these would require stringing. I do have some 49 strand wire, so what are we going to do in this video? Any ideas? I'm thinking here. My first thought is to take some of the beads off of here. That's what we're going to do. I'm just going to go for the metal beads more than anything, or at least one metal bead. What do we have for shapes here? We have kind of a oblong faceted. We've got a couple round small beads, you know. These are in the dark finish, dark gunmetal finish. But let's detach a couple of these metal beads. Oh, these are different sizes. I only have one of this size, so I guess I'm only going to detach the one. And I'm going to take the wire out of it. If this is our focal point of a bracelet, what would we like to put with it for the focal point? Knowing that we only have one of these. Okay, maybe this one here. We used this in the first video for the necklace, and this one's part silver, part clear. Let's take this off of here. And let's take this one too. Now, we could probably just have made a bracelet out of the linked beads without changing much of anything, you know, just adding a clasp. And that's still a possibility. It just depends on how many we have left. But I think I want to work with something else for the bracelet. And of course, we have this oval chain left. And let's get the bead mat back in here again, because I know this is kind of dark on here, dark on dark. So this is what we have. And I'm thinking about these other beads and what we could possibly incorporate for a bracelet. We have the option of bead stringing wire or possibly even memory wire. But let's start with making a bracelet on the bead wire. And I know that I'm going to start with this as my focal point, this metal bead here. And then I was thinking about putting one of these on each side, but goodness, we do have a lot of different spacer beads we could use here. We don't have to go directly to the round bead. Like I have this one here. Let's take a look at it. Okay, it's not too bad. We only have a few of those. And then we could incorporate something different. Different shape. Do I want a spacer bead in between these though? I have these little spacer beads. I mean, we've got a lot of different spacer beads for that matter. Even some of these unusual shaped little barrel beads. Basically, you know, with the bracelet, you see the top part more than anything. But let's go ahead and work with some different shapes and textures for this bracelet. What do we want now? What do we want? I'm just going to use a little, almost, you know, like a little seed bead here in metal. I think these are too oblong to start going around the wrist. If I were going to use these, I could have used them here, but I think I'll hold off on those for now and just work in a different shape. Although I can see this is going to slide right over that bead. How much you bet? If I put that there, with that large hole, it's going to go right over top of that. Well, what do you know? It's not. Interesting. I thought for sure. Well, if that's the case, I'll use 2 more of those, one on each side. They're not quite as normal 6/0. They're kind of flat. But that's what we have. And we could work up to a little larger size here and then come back down in size on these beads. Let's do that. And I'm going to use some more of these spacer beads, these flat 6/0s, I guess. And 2 more of these. Same thing as here. I don't want to get too carried away on length. We're almost there. Let's drop down again in size and go with the smaller one of these faceted beads. A lot of faceted beads in this bracelet upcycle. And then let's go back to the flat 6/0. And I think we better take a look at this and see what we've got. Linear, we have about 6 inches. We still need to add a lobster clasp, going for about 7.5. I think we can add a few more beads. Just going to continue this pattern. I think I'm going to stop there. Put some clips on here. By the way, I have way too much wire. This was a piece of scrap that I had off to the side. Need about 1 inch at least to add the clasp, but let's just take a look at this on a bracelet board. As we said, linear, we're about a 6.5. I'm going for a 7.5 inch bracelet. Oh, we need a few more beads. A few more beads, not too much though. The clasp will take up about maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Maybe I'll just add this little barrel bead at the end, and then another one of these round beads. Oh, like I said, they're like a flat 6/0. Let's check this out. I'm going to stop there. Linear, it's at about 7.5, but by the time you put it in the curve, because of the larger beads that we have, okay, that should be fine. I'm going to stop there. We can always add an extension chain if we want. I'll grab a clasp and be right back. I have a lobster clasp and a jump ring, but I'm going to see about upcycling the clamshells from one of the original necklaces, as well as the lobster clasp, as well as this jump ring off of here. I think the lobster clasp has a lot of wear, so I'm not going to use that, but I'm very curious about these clamshells and about reusing them. I have bright new shiny ones. I do, but this is in that darker finish. 2 clamshells, 2 little jump rings. Let's take a look at these. See if we can open the clamshell. Yes, we can. There is the little flattened crimp bead and wire. Don't know if you can see that. I'll lay it right there. Let's do the same thing here. Sometimes they're glued in here, so I wasn't sure. So we are going to take and upcycle the clamshells. I do need new crimp beads. I've got some of those on my desk somewhere here. I'm looking around. I just had them a minute ago. If you're enjoying this video, I appreciate a thumbs up, and be sure to comment. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe and keep watching. There's more. Here they are. These are 1.3 millimeter little crimp beads. Again, I don't need all this wire, so I'm going to save some of it for another project. But let's check first and make sure that our pattern is the same all the way down. Looks good. So let's pick up the, oh no, let's go through the back side, the bottom hole of the clamshell, pick up the crimp bead, pull it all the way to the end of the wire and smash it. Check it, not going anywhere. Pull it down inside the clamshell and close that up. Okay, that's where we're going to attach the jump ring, which I can recycle one of these and put it through both holes of the clamshell and then attach the lobster clasp. I am attaching a new lobster clasp. It's more of a silver finish, but I didn't like the looks of the one that came off the original necklace. So just pushing the beads down. You can see our little clamshell there hid the crimp bead. I'm going to go ahead and cut this wire off. I don't need this much. 1.5 inches, 2 inches. I guess I have 2 inches. Go through the back side of the clamshell, pick up the crimp bead. Now this one, as you know, is always trickier because, you know, the bead's down inside here and we need to tighten things up. So I'm pushing this down. Well, let me do this. Let me get a hold of the wire in my left hand, get a hold of the crimp bead in my right hand, pushing it down, pressing it, check it. It's not going anywhere. Let's cut that off. The scissors of your choice or whatever you like to use. Some wire is harder to cut than others. It's inside there. Close that up. And I'm going to take the jump ring from the original necklace and go through the holes of the clamshell. Oops. Switch to my flat nose and get a better hold. Go through the holes on the clamshell. And then I'm going to pick up my jump ring. It's not a closed jump ring. It's got a split in it. And I'm going to make sure it's closed up pretty good here. Throw those little flattened crimp beads away. You know, and now we have our new bracelet combining both of the original necklaces. And it's got a lot of cool designs and textures to it. So that's our first piece for this second video in the series. How about if we make some earrings to go with the bracelet? Might as well, right? We have the beads. Let's get some ear wires, a couple of head pins. These are 2-inch head pins. And, oops, I don't need 3 of them. I just need 2. 2 2-inch head pins. Let's just put a small bead at the bottom. I mean, you would think we would use these beads right here. However, I don't have 2 of that size. I'm looking over here and I just don't have 2 more of the same size of anything in here. Not even, I mean, just nothing. Nothing that I can use from that. So we're going to have to work with the shapes. I mean, I would love to put a crystal one here. I would, you know, I would, but I can't do it. So it's going to have to be earrings from these beads here. Let's get everything around us so we can see what we have. This is the largest bead that I used in here. And I don't really have any spacer beads that I use, so other than these unusual things. Okay, another shape. Then I use the little barrel beads. Okay, that's interesting. It would be nice if we had daisy spacers in here. I tend to want to do some kind of daisy spacer, but it works. I do have the smaller version of these. Okay, let's set those aside and let's try another style and see. Often helps to compare, but we need a bead at the bottom so it doesn't fall off the head pin. And then let's do one of these larger ones and then just go right to the smaller one. It works. I would like something more to it. Oh, I can see already which one I like better. How about you? This is the little barrel bead, but I like this better. I do. So much for that barrel bead. Let's just go ahead and do the smaller one of these. Just some stacked beads. Those will go fine with the bracelet. What I do with my ear wires, here they are. Oh, not doing this one. Just push the beads down. Oh, we could put a small bead at the top. Let's do that. Let's put a tiny little bead at the top. Again, I think daisy spacers is what I tend to go to, but I'm just going to stay with the components from the original necklace. Cut this down to about 3/8 of an inch. Wires flush. Pull towards yourself as you roll back, and then release, and then turn it and close it up. Push the beads down. We're going to add a little bead though at the top. Do you like that little bead? Push the beads down, bend it, same thing. I'm going to use my chain nose pliers because they're nice and thin on the end, nice and narrow. Open up the loop on the ear wire, attach the earring. And when you lay these earrings flat, I can see that they want to go a little cattywampus, but once they're on, once you're wearing them, I'll show you here. Once you have them on, the dangle is just fine. So here's our upcycled bracelet and earring set for video number 2 in this series. I decided to add a little bit of extension chain to the bracelet, maybe about 1.5 inches. Just using some more of this oval chain, the black oval chain. Yeah, 1.5 inches should be fine. Let's take a look at the bracelet on a bracelet cone and see what we've got here for size. We've got 7 3/4 plus the 1.5 inch extension chain. And I see a little boo-boo here. I do. I'm surprised by it, but I'll tell you in a second here what it is. I didn't get through both holes of the clamshell. Nope, I just got through one. So I'm going to check the other one now too. Yeah, it's all right. Okay. So we've got 7 3/4 plus the 1.5 inch extension chain. Let's take a quick look at how we started this series, the necklaces before we took them apart, a brief look at what they look like when we did take them apart, and then the bracelet and the earrings. And then I'm going to pop back in and then show you the set. Let's see if I can show you this bracelet on this little display. Here's the bracelet, extension chain in the back, and here's the earrings. I don't know how well that's showing up, but hopefully it is. So there's the set. This will be listed in our eBay store, Avante Avenue. Here's the QR code. It will take you directly to our eBay store, Avante Avenue, and directly to our Avante jewelry category. So check that out. And if you have any need for tools and supplies, here's my Amazon affiliate link for Avante jewelry. I hope you enjoyed part 2 of this 3-part series. The playlist is at the end of the video, so if you missed part 1, well, you can catch up on that. And I hope you're subscribed because there will be a part 3 of this, well, 3-part series. This is what we have left for the last video number 3 in this series. So if you have any ideas, leave a comment and let me know. And of course, let me know what you think about the bracelet and earrings that we made today. Thanks for watching. I'm Vicki, and I'll see you in the next video.